And it's showtime. Hello, everybody. Well, I'm super excited to be here and I'm popping in. I did a pop up class yesterday and it was so popular. And really, I decided to I'm going to bring the elements of what I taught in the pop up class here today because I know many of you couldn't make it, but also it just seems to be this very popular theme of how do you actually turn your live videos, this video right here, like how do you turn this live video into actual leads, into clients, into customers, into students? And it's an excellent question that was born out of, this has been a very funny week because I've done in 2 days, 3 separate trainings inside of people's groups. Hi, Tara. And Tara was there. Tara, I sent you a Bonjoro. Did you get it? But yeah, so here's the funny thing about video. We're so resistant to video. And I mean, I was too, right? I was right there with you. You have a lot of other things to do. You're an expert at what you do. Hey, Sabrina, but then suddenly you have to be a marketer. And the best way to get out in front of your online audience is video. We all know this. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. But the funniest part about it is when I work with people and I say, like video really works and they don't see it and they're resistant. And then they make some videos and it's almost like, oh, it worked. And I had 2 of those back to back. One was Stephen, one was someone named Michelle. And they both kind of said the same thing, which was they went live or they used their video and they put it out into the world and they got clients and they got recognition and they got paying clients from it. But it was said in such a way of like, no, because I really think that people just want video not to work so that they can just keep putting it on the back burner. And why I am all hopped up on the live video, there's different places, right, for live video, pre-recorded video, but I'm talking about live video, obviously, because we're going into live video launchpad starting on Monday. And if you don't make any videos at all, and you don't really have an audience, you want to get good at video, you want to turn strangers into super fans using video, live video is the best way to get started. And there's a couple different reasons. One is you already probably have most, if not all of the equipment you need. You don't have to edit, right? Another great part of this is your audience wants you to go live. They want your videos to be live, even if they're watching on replay. And I know I've said this before, and many of you on the training this morning have heard it, but you need to hear it again. Yeah, turning strangers into super fans, Casey Hill. Casey Hill, everybody, let me pause for a moment and take a break in our scheduled show to tell you about Casey Hill and Bonjoro, because many of you, when I was doing my trainings today, and I just said to Tara, hey, I sent you a Bonjoro, did you get it? I do something called Bonjoro. It's an amazing company, and it's an app that I use on my phone or you can use on your laptop, and I send every single person who joins my list a personalized video, and it has changed my business forever. And what it has done, and again, this is another example of video working, and I have another training inside of Video Playground where I talk about Bonjoro. I show you the inside of Bonjoro, how I use Bonjoro, because how many times can I say Bonjoro in one sentence? I love them because it accelerated how someone turns from a stranger into a super fan. So Casey, feel free to use that, but I am just such a big Bonjoro fan. It is such a huge part of my success and my funnel. But by the way, everybody, that's live video, right? I'm doing live videos, individual videos for people, sending them to people. They're watching them. They feel connected. And that's the thing about video. Your folks, your audience prefer live video, even if it's a replay. And I need you to hear this because how do they know it's a replay? Well, they know there is an energy to your live videos that you can try really hard, and I have, duplicate on a pre-recorded video. Your delivery is different. How you show up in the world is different. And that's why I love people to start with live video as a way to get good at video, because it's the easiest way to do it. It seems like the hardest hurdle, but once you get over yourself, once you figure out the buttons to push and what you're supposed to be talking about, and kind of like, I am not looking at myself right now because I cover myself with notes. And that's the other lovely part about live video is I use notes. Pre-recorded, you have to use teleprompter or memorize because you have to be connecting with that camera and you're spot on with everything you want to say. Live video is a lot more fluid. It's so much more forgiving. And again, I don't know why you wouldn't do it, because this is the way that you turn those strangers into super fans, and they want you to show up live. So again, when I talk about using your live videos, and a lot of people come to me and they're like, but I don't have a following. I don't have a very big list. I don't have any list. This is where you want to start, is with live video. And here's why. So we're going to talk about how to do it, because this is the magic sauce that I feel like not enough people talk about. They kind of allude to it, but I want to, and this is what I did in the pop-up class, I want to tell you exactly how you can actually use these lives and why you want to be doing it before you have an audience, how you can use them to grow your audience. And so I use live. So if you have nobody, you're going live from your business page. Now I multicast, like I am streaming into my profile page, my business page, in YouTube, and into Video Playground. That's for this. But the reason I'm doing it to my business page is, what if this live is awesome? Well, there's two things about that. A, it gets put into a nice little library. So when people find out about me, what is the first thing you do? You look them up, like, oh, well, let me look up her Facebook page, right? And then all of a sudden I have this video library that you can binge watch like Netflix, right? And you're able to get a real feel for who I am, how I teach, and what I have to offer. And that's before you've even joined my world. So again, and then on top of that, so let's say I do a great live. Let's say no one's on there with me. Who cares? I don't care. I love when people are on with me live, but it's not necessary in order for me to actually get leads and customers from my live. So what I will do is I will take that live and I will turn it into a video view ad, or boost it and to a targeted audience. And I'm going to slow this down just so you really follow, because you don't need an ads manager to get started. But let's say I'm doing this live here. It's on my business page. It's awesome. And I want to find out who else thinks it's awesome in the interwebs world of Facebook. I can boost it, or I can turn, I have an ads person, so I would use a video view ad. And all that means is Facebook goes out into the world. You're targeting it though. You want to make sure you're targeting audiences you think will like your video. And for pennies per view, you're finding people who will watch your video. Now, Facebook collects this information for you. Thank you, Facebook. It's the one nice thing they do. So that when you are ready with an offer, when you have a lead magnet, a masterclass, an SLO that you want to put out into the world, you take those people and you retarget. I'm sure you've heard the phrase, you retarget those people with an offer, and suddenly they're not a cold audience anymore. They're not strangers because they've seen that video. Now, the way I do it is Facebook will give you metrics, right? Like someone watched for 3 seconds, someone watched for 10 seconds, someone watched, or you can do it in percentages. I don't retarget with anyone who hasn't watched more than 50% of my video. Here's why. Facebook, when you do the 3 seconds, Facebook counts it if someone's just scrolling by. I don't think that's fair, because they may have seen my face. They may not have. They may have been scrolling while they like let the dog out. They may have been, right? Like, so that's not how it works. So I want to make sure that I'm really targeting. So Facebook will take all these people, right? Again, pennies a day. And let's say I get 7,700 people who have watched this video. That's a lot. It's hard to get 7,700 people to watch my video, but not really if I'm just paying a couple dollars a day, right? I say I will only want 50%, like the only people who watch 50% of my video, I want to retarget them with a different offer, like my Thrive on Live cheat sheet, right? Or something else, another video, whatever it is. I then now maybe only have 2,300 people, but that's 2,300 people who I didn't know before. I just thought they might like my video, and they did. They watched 50% of it. They're much more likely to take action on that lead magnet, on that webinar, because now I'm a familiar face. That's how you use videos, regardless if somebody's on there or not. But again, I'm telling you, the energy of your live is different. Plus, once they're in your world, then of course you're nurturing them with live video. And again, that's how I use Bonjoro. So the way my funnel works is I pay for ads. I do video views, so I'm retargeting, but also doing cold audiences for a Thrive on Live cheat sheet. That's how probably most of you found me, right? It's this Thrive on Live cheat sheet. The ad's hilarious. I'm dancing. They come into my world, and within 24 hours, I send them, I'm pointing here because I do it from my phone up on my little gooseneck and do it like this. I send a personalized video. It's 45 seconds, maybe 60 if I go on, driving them to Video Playground, which is my private Facebook group. That is where I really like to nurture folks. That is where I created Video Playground for them so that they could tap into my 20 years of video experience and get personalized video advice instead of just like blanket video advice, which is what is out there on the interwebs, right? So I'm saying, hey, I'm so glad you're in my world. Come into my even smaller world where I can really get to know you and help you on a personal level. Why would you not want to do that? And then you come into Video Playground and I ask you 3 questions to come in. One is, what is your biggest video struggle? Second one is, what is your niche? Like, what is your business? What do you do? And the third one is, what is the airspeed velocity of a laden swallow? The third one is to see if people are a bot or if they just have a sense of humor. I'm a Monty Python fan. It often gets a fantastic, just kind of like, oh my gosh, she's so funny type of thing. And they're happy to come in. But that first question, what is your biggest video struggle, is live content for me. I have a little Evernote that says Video Playground video struggles, and there are hundreds of them. So now I know what my audience wants me to be going live. Like, it's magical, people. So this is in Live Video Launchpad. All the stuff we go through is like, how do you get to that content of what your audience actually wants you to be talking about? How long do the videos need to be? How do I set up for the videos? Where should my videos go? Like, all of those things are what you learn. But really the biggest thing about Live Video Launchpad is learning how to get comfortable going live consistently. I've had people in the class who are brand new and have never touched the buttons. And then I've had people who dabble in live video. And here's the thing about live video. You cannot dabble, right? If you want to show up and step into your light and become visible, which I highly recommend, because I said this in yesterday's pop-up class and I saw a couple, oh my gosh, she's so mean type of things, but the percentage of people who can buy from you if you are not visible is 0. If people have no idea who you are, they cannot buy from you. They cannot learn from you. They cannot tune into all the fabulousness that is you. And all of you here have a skill. And I'm guessing most of you are really good at what you do, but you're not a marketer. I'm not a marketer. I didn't start out as a marketer, right? I started out in video. I've been in video for 20 years, but suddenly you have to go in front and there's a lot of moving parts. But I can tell you that doing a live video versus doing a blog, the live video is 110% going to get you a whole lot more than the blog, because people need to know, like, and trust you. And instantly, a live video will tell people whether they know, like, and trust you. And your live videos don't have to be like entertainment. That's what we talk about in Live Video Launchpad is, it took me a while to kind of figure out who I was on camera, which is why in the group, what I do is we do live video prompts. I don't have you going live about your business until like the 4th day out of the 10 days, maybe the 5th day even. What we do are really fun things like 2 truths and a lie, or what's your favorite book, or like things that just allow you to light up as a human, because people are buying from a human. And then we try and say, okay, you were so wonderful showing up this way. Now let's get you to show up like that with your content, right? And listen, there's only one way to get good at videos. I love when you all show up for me and you're watching my videos, but I've said this before and I'm going to say it 852 more times. And that is, you get good at video by making videos, not watching videos, not reading about video, not wondering if video is the right approach for you. It is, right? But listen, like, you have to decide to show up. And I talk a lot about perfectionist Patty and the mindset of video. And I get it because when I go into any group and I teach, and again, I have 3 teachings in 2 days, these past 2 days, I always ask the question, what is holding you back? And so many people say, I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way I sound. I don't like, and it usually has to do with them. And that is actually a very easy thing to get over quickly. Because once you realize that your videos are not about you, by the way, your videos are not about you. They're about reaching and teaching your audience and getting them where they need to go. Once you realize that your videos are about that, suddenly you're like, oh, all right, well, you know what? I mean, I have never done a video where I'm actually looking at me. Right now, my notes are covering my face. And yes, I have notes. And that's another thing you'll learn is there is a structure and a strategy to live video. I started one of the calls today. I think, Tara, it was the one you had, which was, what are your video goals? Have you thought about that? Right? Are you doing video just to drive yourself crazy? Are you doing video to get more clients? Are you doing video? What is your video goal? My number one video goal is to create a fast connection with my online audience. And so what a lot of people say, they'll come, oh, my niche, it's too saturated. No, that's not true. No market is too saturated. That's BS. That's perfectionist Patty giving you one more excuse why you don't have to show up. It's not too saturated. You just need to show up and stand out. But again, if you don't even show up, you're certainly not going to be able to stand out in a market that you think is saturated if you're not even showing up in there. Maybe you show up and people decide, yes, that's who I want. But again, I talked a little bit yesterday about Field of Dreams marketing. I had such a fun person on with me who was very resistant, and she's definitely going to join Sue, because, excuse after excuse about why don't you have to show up? But my niche, there is not one business that you can put in front of me that I wouldn't be like, no, you need live video. Nope, you need live video, right? You need to make a connection with someone who will become a future customer, but you have to decide to show up and do it. And I'm here to tell you that my introverts do so well on video and live video, particularly because of that one thing. It's not about you. Introverts love to teach, and that is what you're doing. So once you get past the point of like, it's not about you and we're not showing up, and that has nothing to do with who cares how big, how small, what your hair looks like, any of that kind of stuff, what your voice sounds like, that you're boring. Again, all of these are perfectionist Patty talking to you, right? That is an introvert's dream, is to be like, it's not about you, because they're really good teachers generally, and they're really good about presenting their information, and that's all they want to do, right? So if introversion, is that a word, is the excuse you're using, not going to fly with me, I'm afraid, right? So again, you could be reaching people every single day if you decide to go live. And a lot of questions I get are like, how often do I go live? I like once a week, because I don't mind if you're in a challenge or something like that, that's challenging you to go live and get comfortable and going live every day. But going live every day, I don't follow anyone who goes live every day and I actually show up any of the time, because what happens is, if you're going live all the time, people are going to, I'll catch it tomorrow, but they won't. They're not going to catch it tomorrow, right? Whereas if you make an event, you're showing up, there's a couple things at play here. You have to announce it. You have to tell people. This is one of the objections I got, which was like, I did a video and I didn't get any comments and hardly anybody. And I was like, well, how did you drive traffic to that video? Well, I didn't announce it. I only put it up in the group and asked for feedback on the video, right? Like, so not even feedback on, she didn't want like anything, right? You can't do that. It's not the Field of Dreams marketing here. Like, just because you make it does not mean they're going to come. You have to actively drive eyeballs to your videos. So there's a couple different ways you can do that. You schedule it. You schedule that, and all of your friends and business associates and everybody who's connected to you will get a notification that you're going live. That's step one. Then I will 2 days later, so I usually go live on Wednesday, right? And then on Friday mornings, I generally send out kind of a recap. Hey, we talked about how do you turn your lives into leads? And I went through this, and this, and then I drive them to the video. Hey, make sure I have a CTA, leave me a comment, right? How long ago should you announce about that's a great question. I'm going to attempt your name. Jamur, you can totally correct me. So I announce mine maybe about 4 or 5 hours ahead of time. I would say anywhere over 2 hours is good. Now, there are times where I'll like pop in because I'm like, oh, something happened with a client and I want to share it. I'll try and announce it like 30 minutes ahead of time, but it doesn't really give Facebook enough time. And again, these are things you have to connect. You have to have your Facebook set up for business, right? You want to have all your business connections. I said it right. So yeah, so I like a couple hours. You could do it up to 24 hours ahead of time. You want to give Facebook enough time, and it'll send out like, hey, Tracy just scheduled this. I'm sure you all got it, right? Tracy just scheduled a live, and then like 20 minutes ahead of time, hey, Tracy's going live in 20 minutes. Hey, Tracy's going live in 11 minutes. So you're announcing that something's going down, right? That's how you get people on there. And then you want to ask for engagement. Not likes, not right. Like we want people to engage and share. Those are the things that Facebook likes, but those are also those are the metrics I use to figure out like, oh, was that a really good video or was it kind of like, right? Like there are times I go live and I'm like, nailed it. And then I'm like, except for my community didn't really love it. Like I loved it, right? But it's an experiment. And that's why I love live video. You're not spending a ton of time recording and editing and putting it out into the world and doing everything and then finding out then that's not really, it just didn't hit the mark. It might not have been bad. It just might not have been exactly what they wanted, right? All stuff we cover in Live Video Launchpad. You have to challenge yourself to want to get better. You have to say to yourself, video is important, and it is, right? You can't put it on the back burner anymore. What are you willing to do to put yourself out there? And here's the thing, you don't lack ideas. No one's boring. You don't lack ideas. My guess is you have a bazillion brilliant ideas scattered up here. What I do is help you extract those brilliant ideas and turn them into videos that convert. So what you lack is just focus and a deep understanding of what your audience wants from you. And again, like how to show up confidently. But that's why I'm here. Right? So that's why I show up for you so that I can help, kind of motivate you. And so what I see, there's this like overwhelm with live video particularly. And the visual I always have is somebody in the middle of the water, just kind of like treading water, and you're treading water and it's exhausting because you want this, but you don't know what to do. And right, like, so I am giving you Live Video Launchpad. When I talk about this course, I'm giving you a fast first kind of like action step. You're taking that first stroke towards shore so that you can show up live consistently and confidently. There's a big, I don't like to teach camera confidence, but I do want you to know that you will confidently be going live. Right? So I created Live Video Launchpad, and I've had so many questions, and I'm going to go over a couple of them today just so you understand. It's a 10-day course, but that doesn't mean that you're in for 10 days and then I'm like, see you later. Now I am in, right? I am in. Someone actually sent me a little in like a PM, and they were like, oh, I bought this video course. How does yours compare? And I'm like, mine doesn't, because I am there with you live for 10 days. You have live calls, you have pre-recorded, right? Like there's nothing out there like Live Video Launchpad, because what I feel like lacks in the online marketing world is hand-holding to make sure that you understand. And live video, again, you're not going to learn by watching my modules. The modules are excellent as a jumping off point, but that's about 5%. Where the magic happens is there's a private group, a Live Video Launchpad private group. I give you video prompts. I actually went in there today earlier and I'm like, let's do a pre-prompt. It doesn't start till Monday, right? Your 10 days starts on Monday. You get video prompts from fun ones. And then the community comments, and right, we're going back and forth. I'm giving you feedback, me live, 20 years of experience every single time you go live so that you get better the next time. Right? So, and then, right, that's not all. Then you also get 5 opportunities to hop on with me and your fellow students or your sister students and ask me whatever it is you need to ask me to make sure that you're moving forward. And there are no questions off the table. Any of you have been in, I don't think anybody on here has been through, I know Sabrina's in for this, your cohort 8, woo, woo, right? So Sabrina signed up the other day, right? And she's eagerly waiting for it to start, but you get to go on these live calls, and I move the times around. So they're every other day. The first one's Monday, then we'll have one on Wednesday, we'll have one on Friday. We have people from all over the world, from Hong Kong, from New Zealand, from Australia, from the UK, from Canada, right? So I move the times around to accommodate anybody. I don't expect everybody to show up for the 5 calls. They are all recorded and kept in the learning portal for life. But really, the magic happens is when you check in, you decide to do the live prompts, and you get feedback from me constantly. And it's so much fun. So your cohort mates are commenting on, like, trying to guess, or they're commenting on whatever book you're saying, or whatever the prompt is, they're commenting on that. I'm commenting on how can you make your live better so that you continue over 10 days to get better. But it's a really fun, focused 10 days. It is not a challenge. You need to be there, but the time commitment is not as crazy as you would think it would be to get really good at this skill, at this tool that you need in your marketing toolbox, right? So this will be the 8th time I'm running it. It is such a great crowd. And this is a fan favorite I'm going to talk about because when one of the bonuses, we have many. So today we're talking about, like, how do you turn your lives into leads? My Facebook ads guy, my expert, came in and did a training. And so that training is in the bonuses. And he actually walks you step by step how to boost your live so that you can start collecting those video views, right? He does it as a boost so that you don't have to go into your ads manager, which can be confusing. So we do it on a very basic level, but that can get you started, right? So that's like an extra bonus. But there are 2 favorite bonuses. One is every single person who joins gets a home studio makeover, which Tara, when we were on today, I was doing a couple of those on the live call I was part of today, which is I come into your home, but it won't be a group. It's us one-on-one. And I said, it's like HGTV and MTV had a baby, because I'm coming in, we're moving around, we're finding the best place. So we are finding the best place, the best background, the best lighting, the best sound for you, your home, your budget, all of that, right? It's super fun. It only takes about a half an hour, but it's everybody's favorite because that is an objection, right? People are worried about, how does it look good? Does it not? What about this background, right? So that is a bonus for everybody that joins. And then for everybody that joins, you get an LVL, that's Live Video Launchpad, VIP lifetime pass. And what that means is every time that I run this course, you get to take part in it alive again. So, right. So we do the 10 days, and then I archive, actually, I leave the group open for 15 days because I want to make sure you can get your last assignment done. And then I archive it, but then we come back in here into Video Playground where you get support, right? So it's not like I go away forever. We just bring it back into Video Playground. I like it because then, all the people in there who didn't take action and didn't join it are like, oh crap, I should have joined it. They look like they're having so much fun, right? But you're always getting ongoing support from me in Video Playground. But those 15 or 10 or 15 days, it's just us in that group. But again, video is a journey, and I know this, right? And so you're going to get better, or something will come up, and then when we run it again, you get to take part again, right? And I like to say, and this is why I'm like, it's not a challenge. It's not even really a course, right? Because with a course, I feel like you're watching something and you have to kind of figure it out. You have to figure out how to implement it. What you're actually getting is you're investing in a coach, right? And we are working closely. I can break it down for you. I can hold your hand. I can give you a little slap. I am notorious for lighting fires under bums. I am also not a fan of happy clapper clubs. I think you're great. There, it's on the table. You're great. But that's not going to help you get better, right? So when you come into my world, you are going to get real, raw, honest feedback from a video pro, right? So that is really, really, really worth a lot. When we talk about the modules, it's hosted, right, in a membership area, and there are 4 modules. One, I call it the pesky tech, right? I really teach you the tech. I show you that, like, oh, my wallpaper doesn't go up all the way. I show you my set. I show you lighting for glasses. I show you lighting, sound, framing, all of that kind of stuff is in module 1. And then I call module 2 Get Out of Your Head. And this module was actually co-written with me from an expert in mindset and coaching. She's an integrative life coach and a best-selling author. Nancy Levin helped me develop this module to help people get perfectionist Patty out of their heads. And then this is another fan favorite, which is module 3. And everybody's like, oh my God, it's so good. And I like to tell you to get off the hamster wheel, like get off that that content hamster wheel and hop on over to my content creation wheel, because we do this magical content creation wheel. And there's an additional training where I talk about the different stages of your audience. And then I give you a Trello board. Yes, I do. With over 40 video prompts based on, is your audience tofu, mofu, bofu, which means top of the funnel, middle funnel, bottom of the funnel, which really means, in case this is all new to you, are they new to me? Do they kind of know me? Are they like, what are you selling next, right? That's tofu, mofu, bofu. It just means, where are they in their journey of knowing you and what you have to offer? Because you're going to talk to them a little bit different. The content's a little bit different, but we really do talk about, and if you're thinking, how the hell is this possible in 10 days? It is. It just simply is. And so it is a magical creation. And then obviously that 4th module is about doing it. My dad used to have a funny Jack Benny joke that was, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? It was like a taxi driver, and the guy said, practice, practice, practice. And that is what we will be doing. We will be practicing, practicing, practicing. And I don't like to say practice to perfection, because I don't think there is any such thing as perfection. And guess what? Your audience doesn't want you to be perfect. I like to say practice to connection, because that's truly what you're doing. You're practicing to make that connection with your online audience. And it's just a super, super fun way to do it. Somebody can put it in there for me in the comments. But if you are interested in Live Video Launchpad, I know a lot of you have been going and checking out the enrollment page. Why? Because I see statistics and I can see that you're going there and you're hovering and you're waiting. And I don't know what you're waiting to hear, other than, when did the doors close? They close on Sunday kind of morning, because we start on Monday. And again, time commitment wise, you can go through the modules whenever you want. It's livevideolaunchpad.com. I realized I told someone to write it in, then I forgot to tell you what the URL is. It's livevideolaunchpad.com. And again, it's 10 days. Where you are going to spend the most time is actually in the group doing your lives. And they're short. They're super short. They're little fun little exercises. And even the longest one that I have you do is just a couple minutes. Listen, I'm one person with tons of people in there. I can't, be watching like 8-minute things, right? They're just a couple minutes to get you going. But you have the live component on Zoom, where you can ask me specific questions, where I can really help you and dive into your specific niche and the content and that type of thing. But you go through the modules at your own pace, quickly, right? But they're short. The modules are created how I like to learn, which are in short little bites. They have workbooks, they have prompts, all of these things to get you motivated. You show up in the group, you show up on the calls, or you watch the replays. I am always posting, okay, your prompt for today is, right? So you show up on Monday, I will have a call and a little intro call, and then I will give you your first video prompt. And then we have another call on Wednesday, you'll get your second video prompt. But again, if you can't make the calls, I've had people go through this who have never made a call, right? But they showed up in the group and did their lives. So it was very funny, because I'm like, oh, that's what they look like, right? So they were there doing their lives and getting feedback and getting better. But because of the timing, they just couldn't do it. They had to watch the replays, but they were certainly making huge progress. I have so many success stories. It just works. It simply works. It has evolved over time into only better things, because as my community say, like, what I'd love, I have a funnel training in there, because someone's like, I don't really understand what a funnel is. So I'm like, okay, I'll do a funnel training. That's a bonus in there. And that explains the tofu, mofu, bofu, just so that you get an idea. I give an example of my funnel, and how I use it. But the one thing that I can tell you is, for those 10 days, I am yours. Even my family knows this, right? Like I am in there. I am giving comments. I am making sure you're not struggling because I have 100% pass rate for the people who show up and do the work. Of course, I've had people come in and they can't, they're like dabbling and they're not doing it. You always have that in a course. But for the people who showed up and they show up, do the work, take the feedback, get better, 100%. They are online. And I will tell you by day 5 or 6, it's really interesting to watch the people who are like, I'm never going live on my page. And then suddenly, I don't know why they all sound like Ethel Merman, but they do. And then suddenly they're like, I just did it. I went live on my business page because you're in it, that momentum. And you're like, I got this. I get it. I get I'm supposed to talk about it. I feel confident enough and I'm going to just do it because you have to pull the Band-Aid off. Right now, I created Live Video Launchpad so you could do it in that safe space to pull the Band-Aid off with other people who are pulling the Band-Aid off and get feedback. But I'm telling you, all of a sudden you're going to get over yourself and be like, nah, I'm just gonna do it on my own page. I'm gonna just start putting myself out into the world. And I will we talk about Instagram, we talk about LinkedIn. I don't really talk about YouTube, although on the live calls, if you have questions about YouTube, because the content's just different. And I talk all the time about that. But yeah, I would love if you're on the fence. I'd love to know why you're on the fence. So if you're watching on the replay, #replay, let me know, like, why are you on the fence about joining LVL? I think it's a no-brainer for the cost. Like, you're never going to find a course out there that has the actual coach with as much experience as I have hand-holding you for 10 days. I can't even figure out like what that would actually cost in the real world. I can tell you that people pay me $397 for an hour of my time. So if you want to times that times like, whatever it is in the week, 10 days, 80, that's how much this course should cost. But of course it doesn't, right? So go to livevideolaunchpad.com. I will see you inside of there. We start on Monday. Again, it doesn't mean you have to show up for the call on Monday. If you can't, that's okay. Watch the replay, but you'll be showing up in the group because that I demand. If you have any questions, let me know. You can send me a private message or you can email me at Tracy@VideoScriptSuccess. I am always the person who will tell you the truth. If you're not sure if it's a good time or a good fit, I will tell you. And I'm sure there are people on here who have been like, I actually had on a call with her and she said it wasn't a good fit, right? Like, so if you're wobbly and not quite sure if it's the right time or the right fit, yeah, send me an email. I'm here. Where am I going? I'm here. But this has been fun. I will see you, of course, next week because I'm consistent with my content and I show up every week for you. So I'll see you next week. Let me know if you have any questions.